Hi guys, it's Dan from VA Lifestyle Design. Today I just want to talk about transitioning into the change of career to work online and sort of some of the things that don't get talked about that's actually probably the hardest thing to deal with. Okay, learning the skills, that's that's the job, but that's not the hard part. It's easier to learn the skills. It's changing your lifestyle, having the time to learn these new skills, having the time to implement these skills when you've already got prior commitments. That was definitely the biggest challenge for us. It was, okay, we were in the situation in Australia where I had to work full time. We needed that income. There was no way we could have me worked less while Danielle studied and not made money. Like, maybe at night time, but after having two little babies all that day looking after them, she was sort of exhausted, and it wouldn't have been the smartest way for us to do it. I think we would have set ourselves up for a fail. It wouldn't have been the time to do it. So I just kept plodding away working, and we thought, okay, how can we change our lifestyle to get out of the city? Okay, maybe Danielle can apply for a job out of the city. And so that's how we started thinking, okay, we just got to get out of here. So Danielle applied for jobs out of the city, and we almost got one. She was really, really close, down to the last person. It was in a place that we wanted to live, and we thought that was it. That was our way out, but she ended up not getting the job. Someone got pipped her at the last minute, so it wasn't to be. But we were devastated about it. But after a week or so, okay, let's just keep plodding along, and something else will pop up. We know we want what we want now. We want to be out of the city, have a look around for some other jobs, and there wasn't that many jobs coming up, and so we started thinking, okay, let's just go somewhere else. Let's just go to Costa Rica. And I was trying to study something at that time, at night time, doing personal training, but I knew I didn't want to do it as a job. It was just sort of something that I wanted to try, and I was halfway through the studying, and I just kept going with it. So then we came here to Costa Rica, and we realized when we got here, okay, this is our chance to do this, to change the career. We had the idea that we were thinking we were going to do that there, but when we got here, it was just whoever can get some work first. Whether I get some work as a carpenter or Danielle gets work, some sort of job online, we'll just see what happens. It wasn't really like, at that point, we wanted to do it as a career. It was just something that we wanted to fill in to make a bit of extra money. Daniel was excited about it, but it was just about making some money to get to what we wanted to do. And now it's turned into, we're both super passionate, and we've got careers, we've changed our careers out of it. Whether we could have changed that both at the same time in one go at the beginning, nah, no way. Like, when we got here, we had two young babies. I'd just come out of working full time, so I needed a little bit of training, I suppose, into how to hang out with the kids all day, every day, and I didn't really want to jump straight into the deep end on that, and Danielle didn't want me to either. So we knew getting a nanny was something that would help us a lot. So we got here, we got the nanny, and she was awesome. We knew that that's how the girls were going to learn Spanish. It was just all positives, apart from how much it was cost. It was cheap compared to anywhere else, but it was still our biggest expense. It was actually more than our rent. So, and we only had a certain amount of savings, but we just knew that we had to do it. It was just that much of a must. It was either sort of, okay, we get an extra couple of months here, or this will make it happen straight away, so Danielle can just sort of dive straight in. And she was working at home too, so with two new babies, and she was still breastfeeding. We knew that it just made it even more a must. And it turned out to be right. Danielle could work 7 hours a day when she started off, and sometimes she'd do a little bit more, sometimes she'd do a little bit less, but we just had that freedom immediately of being able to, like, okay, Danielle, come down, look after Ashley. Ashley was 1.5, or not even younger, 15 months at the time, and then go back up to work. We come down, have some lunch, and it was just so awesome. Like, it wasn't easy, but it was so good to have that freedom and have that change, and just be able to see each other all day. She still had to work, she still had to get some hours in, but we found a solution that would work for us. If we had tried that in home, in Australia, first of all, we didn't have the cash to do it, and without a nanny, me sitting at home trying to juggle the kids, yeah, okay, maybe I could have gone down the park and done this, but honestly, the thought of that makes me a little bit sick. I just don't think it would have been doable, and I know Danielle wouldn't want to do it. She wouldn't be able to concentrate as much, like her focus would have been shifted. Yeah, so this is how we ended up doing it, you know. It's what worked for us. To make a blueprint for someone else's situation, it's nearly impossible. Everyone's going to have a unique situation. Like our kids were 2 and 1 at that stage. You know, if we had just one 1-year-old, it would have been completely different. We could have juggled that a lot more. We probably would have made it happen at home. If we had have had the situation we had 2 years ago when we had 3 kids and Sean was just born, so that might have been even harder to do again, you know, because we had a newborn baby. It was just that time, the circumstances we had at that time that made the way we do it work. So what I'm trying to say is that everyone is going to have a different situation and have their different battles to try and fit the hours in the day. What I try and suggest is not to set yourself up for failure. You know, if something seems impossible, sit down, have a look at it and go, is this gonna really work? Not from a negative angle, from a factual angle. Okay, pros and cons. Can I do this? How will I react when I do this? How am I gonna feel about doing this? And just see if on paper it looks like it's doable. I'm all for pushing, like going hard and going strong, but also I don't like setting myself up for failure. If something's impossible, it's not worth going. But if something's possible but really, really hard, I'll give it a go. That's how me and Danielle are, but it's not worth wasting the time on the impossible. So there's always a solution. There'll always be a solution. Some people have some savings, okay? One partner stops working and then has a go at it. Some people might have to move to a cheaper country to start off. If you're single and you're working a full-time job and you have to look after yourself, maybe you might have to work at night time, but you don't have the commitments of a kid. That was something when I was a 20-year-old that I thought, okay, I've worked 10 hours a day. There's no way that I could do anything at night. And I regret that now because I could have easily. I was 20, had no kids, didn't realize that, you know, when you have a family and all that, there's sort of, you're constantly ticking over all day. But, you know, it's just breaking out of your comfort zone. I was happy with that. I was making good money, so that's just what I did, you know. But I could have done something else in that time, but I didn't push. So that's my point I'm trying to say, is that there's always a solution out there. There's always a way to get it. Just, you might have to think outside the box a little bit and get outside your comfort zone, or try something different and start again. Whatever suits you is the path that's going to work, and that's how it worked for us. We just kept trying things and juggling things, and it was over a 2 or 3 year process of, like, our main goal was to get out of the city, and we did it, and we found cool careers along the way. We've taken a few turns and twists and stuff like that to get what we want, but we both feel like we're close to where we want to be, and we're really enjoying life. And I think it was those right decisions at those critical times and the little bit of push and knowing when to give up and knowing when not to give up that really got us through in the end. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps with some decision making and knowing what's right for you and when to push. All right, guys, till next time.